Hey you guys, it's time for another tutorial, a very much requested character, Inuyasha. So here's the colors you will need. Some flash colored clay for the face and feet and hands, some Indian red, which is number 24 and feeling soft, and some white. And here I'm showing pink clay, but I actually decided to paint in the ears with acrylic paints. You will also need some dark brown color, which I got by mixing equal parts of black and chocolate in Fimo Soft. Start by making the head. Take your conditioned ball of flash colored clay and make an indent with one of your dotting tools. One for the forehead and then go down the sides to form a nose. Then just use your fingers to smooth everything out. Sometimes I have to pinch the nose a little bit to make it look neat. Then hold your head at the sides and make two indents for the eyes and widen them a little bit to give them a pointy look. Then again, hold your head at the sides and take your needle tool and twisting and pushing at the same time pre-poke a hole. Now we turn to the body. Flatten a sheet of the red clay and then cut out the shape. Round off the edges a little bit. You want to do this carefully so you don't distort the shape. When I remade this character, I chose my usual method, so if you want to go for the teardrop shape for the body, that's perfectly fine, it works just as well. Then you want to take some more of the red clay and make teardrop shapes out of it. For that, just put it in your palm like so, and then roll it to get the perfect teardrop shape. Make two of those for the legs, and a third one later for the arms. Then take three of your fingers and hold it like so you don't distort the shape. Make an indent, that's where the foot will go, and then go down the sides with a needle tool or something similar to create the ruffles of his pants legs. Do the same thing to the other leg. Then get out a third ball and then cut that in half. And again, texture these halves like shown for the arms. I'm also making little indents so that I can put the hand there. Then pre-cut some flash colored clay for the feet and hands. Roll them up into balls and then pinch roll each ball between two fingers like shown to get tiny teardrop shapes. For the feet, you can also reshape them a little bit so they look like actual feet. Then take your body, make two indents for the legs, and fill all the indents up with some Fimo liquid or TLS, it doesn't really matter. And here I'm assembling all the pieces. And then I'm pushing and twisting at the same time while driving the needle through the body. And you can see I'm having a hard time here, so you might want to do this before adding the legs. Then stick in your head pin. Get out a strip of red colored clay, wrap it around the body, cut off the excess, and then smooth it out a little bit. You don't have to be too perfect with this step, just because it won't be visible as it's in the back. Then prepare the bow like shown with a thinner strip of red clay. Carefully lift it off the work surface using your blade if it hasn't lifted up already. And then securely attach it to the front of Inuyasha's body. Then take even thinner strips of red clay for the collar and attach them like shown. I also filled up a little triangle at the top with some flash colored clay. Here I'm preparing the arms and then sticking them on the side of the body. Slightly pinch to bond the pieces. Then take tiny balls of the dark brown clay and tiny teardrop shapes of flesh colored clay for Inuyasha's necklace. For the tiny balls of dark brown clay, you can also use micro marbles, but I just realized this now, it would have been so much easier. Then you can pre-bake your pieces. Now we're ready for the hair. You need 3 sheets of clay, setting 1, a setting 3, and a setting 6 on the pastel machine. We are starting by wrapping the thinnest sheet of clay around the head just to get a base color. Pinch it and then remove the excess. Also smooth out the seams and everything, make it look neat. This is just to make it easier to attach more hair to the head, and in case you forget to cover any space of the head, no skin color will be visible. We're going to use the thickest sheet for the bangs, but for now we need the setting 3 sheet for the largest portion of hair. So just measure the width and the length, cut out the basic shape, and then also cut some fringes. At this point, I usually smooth out the edges a little bit, just so it doesn't look like it's a cut sheet of clay. And after you've done that, you might have to correct the shape a little bit. And then you can just go ahead and texture the whole thing. There's a neat trick to getting rid of all the little crumbs. So take out some leftover white clay, roll it into a log, and then gently roll it over your textured sheet of clay. It will pick up all those crumbs. Then get the hair off the work surface using your blade and texture it from the other side. You only have to go halfway up because that's the only part that's going to be visible. Then attach it to the head and smooth it out. At this point I usually stick the head onto a needle tool just so that I have something to hold on to. Sketch out the bangs and then just repeat the same process. Smooth it out with your fingers, add some texture, and so on and so forth. Before we can attach the bangs though, there are these little side pieces of hair. So get elongated teardrop shapes and then also pinch them a little at the bottom to get a very long diamond shape, so to say. And then lay it in your fingers like so and texture it all around. You want to attach these before attaching the actual bangs. Make sure they are secure. If you lose any texture in this process, just reapply it. I'm using a silicone brush to securely attach the hair, but you can also just use a toothpick. Then pinch roll a ball of white clay like so to get a teardrop shape again, and then cut this in half for the ears. Then gently attach them onto the head and smooth them out. A stiff tool works best for this process. If you have them bonded onto the head, then turn your attention to the front of the ears to give them a little texture inside. This just makes it easier to fill them up with acrylic paint afterwards. Then just stick the head on top of the body and bake for one last time. After your chibi has completely cooled, you can go ahead and get out your acrylic paints. And I started by coloring in the ears. Next up are the eye sockets, so get out some white acrylic paint and just dab it into the eye sockets and then wait for this to dry. I cannot stress this enough. Before adding any more details. And I'm using a permanent marker with a very fine tip to draw on the eyelashes and also the eyebrows. But you can also use acrylic paint for this. I just recently found a brush that's actually thin enough for this process. Again, after this has dried, you can go ahead and add some yellow acrylic paint for the irises. And after that has dried, you can outline this again with your marker or with black acrylic paint. Don't forget the reflection with white acrylic paint. Okay, that's the finished character. After this has completely dried, I recommend to wait at least 24 hours. You can glaze it and then you're done. I hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment and subscribe. What other characters would you like me to make? Comment it down below. I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye!